I'm Sylvia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm speaking about Jupiter's transit in Aries for the first 6 signs. I'm going to make a second video, a part 2 for the other 6 signs. Now, Jupiter is going to enter Aries on the 10th or 11th of May, depending on where you live. Generally speaking, Jupiter in Aries is going to support and is going to be very beneficial for people who want to start a new chapter or a new path in their life. If you want to initiate something new, for example, you can start your own business, or you can become self-employed during this time, or you can start a new project at work, or just for example you just want to start a new healthy routine, or becoming more active, for example. This is actually the perfect time for you to do it. Now, of course, Jupiter in Aries speaks about you becoming more proactive, having more initiative in your life, in your projects. And it speaks about you becoming more ambitious and even more competitive sometimes. But you need to learn to have more faith, because Jupiter is about faith. You need to have more faith in yourself, in your abilities. You need to build up your self-confidence more, and you need to trust life more. You need to trust yourself more. You need to put yourself out there if you want to achieve your goals, if you just want to make your wishes come true, basically. And Jupiter in Aries, basically, it's going to help you achieve what you want, as long as you are, like I said before, proactive, and you trust yourself, and you become a braver, you have more courage, you are more daring, you just want to get out of your comfort zone and overcome your fears. Basically, this is what Jupiter is asking you to do in order for you to become more successful. Now, of course, there is also a downside to Jupiter in Aries, and you need to be careful not to get too assertive, and not to become too selfish sometimes without considering the needs of other people. And you also need to understand that when you start a new project or something new in your life, you might not see the results in just 5 seconds. So you also need to learn to have a bit more patience. Now, Jupiter in Aries can also speak about an inflamed ego. So just be careful not to get too angry, too pissed off very easily, and without, like I said before, considering other people's point of view. And pay attention not to get too competitive sometimes. You might have this attitude of winning at all cost. This would actually be the more negative side of Jupiter in Aries. Now, on a mundane level, Jupiter in Aries can bring a lot of conflict, and unfortunately, it can also bring more wars. We are already dealing with a war. We have a war right now. But unfortunately, I think this war is going to escalate, and I believe this because in July, end of July, beginning of August, we will have the triple conjunction Mars-Uranus North Node in Taurus. And this is actually quite an explosive and aggressive energy, I can say. And on top of that, like it wasn't already enough, Mars, the planet of war, the planet of conflict, the planet that rules over the military, weapons, and just in general armed forces, is also going to retrograde. So as you can see, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of conflict coming into the world. So I think that it is also possible that other countries might also start new wars. So the big problem with Jupiter in Aries is the fact that we can see, unfortunately, more violence in the world. Thank you very much. Okay, so now let's speak about Jupiter transiting Aries for Aries rising people. So if you have a Aries rising, then Jupiter is going to transit your first house. Whenever Jupiter transits your first house, you begin a new cycle during this period of time. Actually, Jupiter transiting your first house can mean many blessings, many opportunities coming your way, and actually, you can be luckier than usual during this period of time. So, if you are proactive and if you have a bit more faith in yourself and in life, and if you're a bit more daring, then you can attract those things that you want to in your life. For example, if you want to have a child, let's say, Jupiter transiting your first house, I've seen it many times in my practice. Jupiter transiting your first house can actually bring you a pregnancy or a new child into your life, especially if other transits are also supporting this. Or when Jupiter is transiting your first house, you can meet a new partner, or you can start a very serious relationship, or you can even find your future husband or your future wife. And again, especially if there are other transits that support this idea. Now, Jupiter transiting the first house can mean that overall you will have a more positive attitude towards life. And this is actually the best time for you to initiate new things. And for example, you can start a new career during this time, or you can start, for example, a new business, or you can become more independent, or you can become self-employed during this time. If you have been wanting to do that, actually, when Jupiter is transiting your first house, it is very beneficial to do what you have always wanted to do. Now, if you are a Taurus rising, then Jupiter is going to transit your 12th house. Now, the 12th house actually rules over chronic health issues, but also it rules over your mental health. So, for example, if you have been dealing with anxiety, depression, sadness, even insomnia, Jupiter transiting your 12th house can actually mean that you can somehow fix these problems, whether you find a remedy or a cure or a new treatment or a doctor or a physician or someone who can help you with your mental health issues or with your insomnia too. Or you can actually just somehow find inner peace, because Jupiter transiting in the 12th house can also bring you inner peace. And you can attain this inner peace through, let's say, meditation, or through counseling, or speaking with a therapist, or just praying. And generally speaking, Jupiter transiting your 12th house, it's actually like you have protection from divinity, because Jupiter transiting your 12th house, it does speak about some form of protection coming into your life. And actually, I would say, and I would highly encourage you, that during this time it would be great for you to practice meditation, or to develop or to start a connection with divinity, because this is going to bring you spiritual growth, and it can also bring you more inner peace if you feel like you have lost your inner peace. And because the eighth house, the 12th house, like I said before, also rules over um, chronic health issues. During this time, you can find a cure or a treatment or a doctor that can actually help you with that chronic problem you have been having. Now, if you are a Gemini rising, then transiting Jupiter in Aries is going to go through your 11th house. Now, this means that you will have more social interactions during this time. If you're an introvert person, then definitely during this time you might get a bit more open to other people, or to have new friendships, or this can mean that you can find new interesting people, or it can mean that a new friend can enter your life, but this friendship can be a bit more different, because this friendship can be more on a spiritual level, on a more deeper, profound level than usually. It can be a friend that could be like a blessing for you, or it can be a friend that can connect to you on different levels, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So it's like you can find the friend that probably you never had, or a friend that could be very close to your heart, very close to your soul. Now, Jupiter transiting your 11th house can also speak about the fact that during this time you can make new connections to different groups of people or clubs, or it depends, just different kind of people who can help you somehow with your projects or your ambitions or your investments, or they can be like very beneficial to you. uh, they can be very beneficial. They can open new doors for you. For example, if you have some social ambitions, or some economic projects, for example. Now, if you are a Cancer rising, then Jupiter is going to transit your 10th house. So this means that new opportunities, and basically it can mean that you can get a lot more luckier when it comes to your career. Now, during this time, you can get a promotion, for example. Maybe you get recognized by your manager. They can appreciate, or they can see your hard work. They can also see that your good performance, so they will promote you. Or if you, for example, if you want to start a new job, yeah, or a new business, or even if you want to become self-employed, this is the best time for you to actually do it. Now, Cancer rising people they're usually a lot more shy. They are not the type of people who take risk. But with Jupiter transiting in Aries in your 10th house, if you want to gain success in your career or in your business, then you need to get out of your comfort zone and be more daring. And generally speaking, Jupiter transiting your 10th house can actually mean that your reputation can increase. So you can become more well known, or your business can be noticed or recognized by other businesses, which are going to be which is going to be very benefic for your business. Your business can actually grow during this period of time. Now, if you are a Leo rising, then transiting Jupiter in Aries is going to go through your ninth house. So if you always wanted to work abroad or to live abroad, or you want to get a visa, or you want to apply for a new citizenship, actually this is the right time for you to do it. Now you can find new opportunities, or you can find the right people or the right circumstances that can help you achieve your dream. And generally speaking, I think that Jupiter transiting the ninth house or Jupiter transiting the 12th house is actually quite beneficial, because somehow you get protection from divinity. And usually during this period of time, you will see that things go smoothly in your life. There isn't, unless there aren't other transits in your horoscope, then this time is actually a time where everything, when you have more peace, I would say, in your life. Now, if you are a Virgo rising, then transiting Jupiter is going to transit your 8th house. Now, this means that if you have been struggling financially, this is the time when you can get some financial help from someone else, whether it's, for example, your partner. They can earn more money, or you can, let's say, inherit something, some money, or inherit a property, or you can, or for example, you can invest your money in a new business, or with a business partner, or if you invest in stock markets or cryptocurrencies or mutual funds or things like this nature, then you will see that if you make the investments now, you will see actually good financial returns from these investments. Now, Jupiter transiting the 8th house can also speak about the fact that you can release some blockages or some trauma, emotional or mental trauma during this time. And it could be through counseling or working with a therapist, or it can be through meditation, or it can be through praying, or just having more faith in life, or having more faith in yourself, basically. And just generally speaking, having a more positive attitude in life. So I hope you have enjoyed my video. I'm going to make another video for Jupiter transiting in Aries for the other 6 signs. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.